Gallin from SoundLab. Welcome to Australian Musician.
Thank you very much for having me. Great talking to you, Greg.
Tell me first up what SoundLab is.
Okay, well, the SoundLab is a music school, first and foremost, was founded in 2009. So we've been going for over 12 years now. It's an incredible venue space in Prahran in Melbourne. We basically fitted out this incredible venue that we cohabitate with a theatre company and also a podcast studio. Then we have 5 teaching rooms of our own, which are all decked out in beautiful equipment, all the Gibson Epiphone, Orange, Vox, Yamaha, you name it. Basically, it's in there, all the good stuff. So obviously students can either bring their own instruments along to their lessons. Otherwise, we have plenty of gear on site as well in our teaching rooms to facilitate.
So in 2009, when you started SoundLab, why did you begin? What were the goals?
Yes, well, obviously my background, you probably know, Greg, I've been in the industry for a while. The family business was in wholesale and retail instruments, sales, obviously. So we were doing Gibson guitars and orange amplifiers for a very long time. We had a chain of retail stores, so that was Gallin's Musicians Pro Shop, which started probably about 30 odd years ago on Chapel Street, and then became a chain of about 15, I think maybe 18 retail stores at its peak. Then we bought Allen's Billy Hyde after their merger that went belly up. And then we sort of merged our Gallin's Musicians Pro Shops into the Allen's Billy Hyde store. So there's lots of names that got melded in there together. Yeah, so I obviously was involved in that quite heavily. I was very interested in the retail side of things and the managing of people and stock and all that sort of thing. And also the Gibson, I used to do a lot of AR, artist relations work for Gibson and Orange, obviously. We're our 2 biggest brands. We do a lot of festivals like Tamworth Country Music Festival. Blues Fest was another massive one for us. So I was sort of heavily involved in that, and also doing the loan stock out to a lot of artists that were coming through the Orange endorsees to Australia, which was a lot of fun actually as well. So, and then basically I just sort of decided that the music education side of the business was something that was lacking, and I thought, well, I'll just start my own sideshow. And it's, it outsurvives the retail stores, which is an interesting thing, to be honest. Obviously education is a very important thing. I think the fact that we've stayed through it, and particularly through all of this with COVID as well, we managed to put our lessons onto Zoom online, which was fantastic that we had the opportunity to do that. I think we were extremely fortunate. I know a lot of creative arts industries were really, severely impacted, but we were able to sort of transition most of our students onto that method, and it worked quite well for us. And we're now looking at that as a way to expand our market into national areas and into disadvantaged communities, etc.
So what do you actually offer lessons in?
So predominantly it's guitar, number 1, drums, piano and vocals are our top 4. We do a bit of violin. It's a bit quiet on that front at the moment, but and also bass guitar obviously is the other, so that comes under guitar. But yeah, all ages. We have half-hour durations or hour durations. Obviously the more lessons you purchase, the cheaper it is and more affordable it is, but we have options starting from as low as like $45 a lesson. We have online options now, obviously, as well, so anybody remotely can have our lessons, which is fantastic. And we have a range of teachers, which is the other thing I must mention, apart from our fantastic venue and the ability to go online. Our teachers are sort of second to none, I suppose, in the sense that we've got a lot of really fantastic industry teachers that I think we've got the best 10 teachers we've had in our 10 years plus, to be honest. So bit by bit they come and go, but yeah, we've got some incredibly talented teachers and who are really committed and passionate.
How do you go about sourcing them, finding the teachers?
Yeah, well, it's an interesting one. We're often doing, employment drives and what have you to try and find teachers. So anyone that sees this that's looking for work, we're actually doing a bit of a drive at the moment. And we usually go through our channels it's one of those things. It's an industry where everybody sort of knows everybody's in one way or another. So a lot of the people that we get working for us obviously come through the networks of people that we have known over many years, or they get introduced to us from groups where people study or that sort of thing as well. Often we put things up on social media, and just it's a network of musicians that sort of band together and say, hey, there's a job going at SoundLab. And we get a lot of incredible applications, and it's sort of a bit of a word of mouth thing as well, I guess. So, yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned the instruments that you teach. Do you do vocals as well?
Yes, definitely. Yes. That was in my formal that I mentioned to start. Yes. Yeah, vocals is definitely that. We call vocals an instrument because your voice is actually an instrument. So I think that's fair. Yeah. But definitely to play an instrument or to sing. Yeah.
Yeah. As you mentioned, you have some great gear there, brands like Roland, Epiphone, Box, Orange. How important do you think it is that the students are using the gear that the pros use?
Definitely. That's a very good point you make there, Greg, because, obviously my background is in instrument sales, and obviously I know what that's like. We obviously sold instruments to a lot of beginners, and it's a really important thing because, having an instrument that stays in tune, particularly, having the right kind of gear, having the authority that you get with brands that have been making instruments for hundreds of years. They know what they're doing. They've also got warranty and all sorts of things behind them that, if students do run into trouble, there's always places that can, facilitate a warranty repair or anything like that. So those kind of things are really important. I think, like if you get a cheap and nasty instrument and it doesn't stay in tune, there's nothing worse than that. And I think investing in something a little bit better and pushing, your budget a little bit further can probably get you something that you really fall in love with and that you actually want to pick up, and you'll probably find that you're not needing to upgrade sooner rather than later. So,
flicking through the website, I noticed a concept called Little Rockstar. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so Little Rockstar program is something that I run myself. I have been doing that for quite some time now. So it sort of started off as kids' birthday parties. It's also a holiday program as well. We were doing that with one of the big suppliers. We've done Teen Kids, Camp Australia. We have had a bit of a hiatus with that, obviously due to COVID. We're looking to kind of recharge that again. And birthday parties. So the program's a lot of fun. We dress up as rock stars. We have them playing mini Epiphone electric Flying V's and Les Pauls. We have them playing electronic drum kits and doing karaoke and with all their favourite songs on YouTube videos, having a good dance along. And, we teach them rock moves and dress them up as rock stars and a whole bunch of stuff like that. So it's kind of like a mini School of Rock kind of day event type thing, and lots of fun. We can cater for the kids for the birthday parties as well. And, everyone learns to rock out and have a good time. So, and learn about rock and roll music that they might not know about. So, yeah.
So do you have any favourite student stories over the years?
Favourite student stories? Well, gee, I've got a few, but I'd have to say one of the favourite ones I think is one of our more recent teachers that have blown up is G Flip. She's a dear friend of ours. She was actually running the Little Rockstar program for us for years, and we sort of knew of her through friends of friends, and then she started running the program for us. And then, she obviously got so busy that she couldn't run it anymore for us. And, we're just so proud of her to see how she's come. And, she just sort of exploded overnight. It's just fantastic when you see people like that and particularly because I've particular people I've seen come through our school that I've known for a long time and that we've supported along the way. And look, there's lots of other students along the way. I wouldn't say that we have a lot of students that amount to, national or international stardom. That's not what our school is about. Predominantly, I would say it's about having fun. It's about how music is good for you. Music can be a form of therapy. We get a lot of, students that obviously get a lot of health benefits out of coming to have music lessons with us. It's good for their emotional well-being, all those sorts of things, using the other side of the brain and being creative, obviously, and also just having the guidance and support of somebody to push you in the right direction and fast track your learning that you may otherwise take a lot longer to achieve the results you're after by doing it online yourself, etc.
You mentioned mental health. With the pandemic, Well, firstly, how did you handle that, and how important was it to keep in touch with the students for their mental health?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, as I was saying before, we've had a lot of students that have come through that have really felt that, they've been going through a specific trauma or something in their life, that music had been a really incredible outlet for them to just get it out of their system, to have something that they can focus on, a way to express themselves outside of their headspace, which I just think is phenomenal. And look, I've written a little ebook called Why Learn Music. It's 5,000 words of the comprehensive benefits of learning a musical instrument or to sing. So check that out if you're interested to have a look at that. There's plenty of reasons in it why, there's tons of benefits, pages and pages and pages we've written on it. So, and there's lots of evidence out there that suggests that, there's a lot of joy and positivity that's brought to people in terms of particularly wellbeing and mental health. So, yeah.
Yeah. SoundLab seems like a fun place to be. I see you have a Performer of the Year event that you run.
Yes, we do. We like to do that, and we like to put it up on our social channels and get everybody involved in it. But yeah, it's a bit of fun. We set up a bit of a stage. We've got a nice lighting scenario happening, and we like to film the videos so people can obviously see their progress and watch themselves back. So yeah, and we kind of did it a bit like we hammed it up a bit and did it a bit like a voice or something like that. We made it a bit fantastic with our supers and our TV editing that we did for it. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I think people get a lot of benefit out of it. People are a bit shy to get up there. Once one person gets up, then everybody likes to get up. But I think that's another thing, is breaking through that performance barrier of actually pushing yourself to do that sort of thing. And obviously, with COVID, et cetera, and everything, those opportunities are getting less and less for you to be able to be in a safe environment where you can perform to your friends and loved ones. And we can also obviously video and then, stream that content and that sort of thing as well, which is also important to share that out. So.
Yeah, I see you also have a great YouTube channel, and you have a series called SoundLab at Home where you do interviews with artists, and I noticed they're very positive in their flavour. That's an important thing, and an important message for you to get across.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, that was born because I didn't have much to do because we were in lockdown. And so I thought, well, it was hard to get a hold of a camera, but I did manage to get one. And look, my contacts over the years, I guess I've got a lot of industry people that I thought, well, we can't obviously bring people together now, so maybe I can bring, them to audiences. And, it's been really well received. I've got some interesting things coming up as well. Some all facets of the industry as well, like, rock photography or even comedy albums and things like that. So I won't give too much away, but I'm trying to have a bit of an eclectic mix of people. I've got, amp repairers. I've got all sorts of sort of stuff. So it's not just artists. It's a lot of different sort of sides to the industry. And I think, as you're saying, it's kind of good to get, their perspective on things. We try to relate it obviously all to music and the benefits of learning music and that sort of thing. So, but yeah, it's been interesting. I would think that they wouldn't have much time for me, but they've all been very, very obliging, and I'm really appreciative of it as well, because I think it's great cross promotion for people, and I think people have really wanted something to do, and so content is king at the moment. I think if you have an opportunity to get out there and make some content, whilst we're in a bit of a downturn with things, I think it's a really positive thing.
Yeah. So what are the goals and the vision for SoundLab into the future?
Right. Well, yes. At the moment, I'm working on just completing some grants. Actually, we're trying to get some government assistance to really step up our digital, representation, particularly with online courses to go out to nationally. And as I was saying before, we're trying to reach new markets. It's called reimagining is the terminology. They're looking to find projects that can basically, put music education out to different, obviously schools, regional, disabled, Aboriginal communities, all sorts of things like that. We're really trying to have something that we can get, to obviously boost the, stimulate the economy around music education and, generating more income for our teachers as well. Obviously we are, limited geographically by one school. We've only got the one school at the moment. So if we can, create online coursework that's you know, it's got to be engaging, it's got to be innovative, it's going to be fun, all sorts of things like that. And, you know, have levels and progression where it's a graduated system, like, you know, a SoundLab music syllabus, basically. So that's what we're looking to put out there at the moment. And yeah, we're hoping we get some support from the government to really do it at the level we're wanting to. So.
Yeah, SoundLab is in Prahran in Melbourne, but students around the country can apply to have lessons with you. If someone is interested in having lessons at SoundLab, I guess they go to the website?
Yes, absolutely. Our website has got all our details there. You can contact us, you know, via the phone, or email is always the best to get a hold of us. And we like to put things in writing. We have an enrolment questionnaire. We do a free consultation where we can talk to you about all your needs and requirements, and we really tailor our lessons to suit whatever objectives you may have and what you want to get out of it. So it's a really personalised approach. Obviously, we will try and match you with one of our fantastic teachers, whatever's the best fit for you, once we know exactly what you're set out to achieve. And we really pride ourselves in that personalisation. So, yeah, so anybody obviously who is interested, by all means, we've got a fantastic general manager. Her name's Lisa. She's in the office, and I also work very closely with her and helping out with students. And yeah, so we can obviously match you with one of the teachers that suits and talk to you about all our options for sure.
Yeah. Well, Leah, it's been great to learn about SoundLab, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for your time, Greg. I really appreciate you having us on the show. It's great to be able to tell you about what we've been up to. It's been a while since I've done an interview like this, so I really appreciate your time.